Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today's webinar. My name is Fatim Seka. I am a trained coach and I will be your host in the exciting webinar. Today we are presenting the three business model that is design thinking, lean startup movement, and the blue ocean strategy. Our presenter today is a consultant, food and beverage export advisor, a coach, a quality management trainer, and a mentor. She holds a master in business administration, she's a tech fellow, and also has trained hundreds of entrepreneurs. And here with us we have Ms. Fatma Takasama, who is a social entrepreneur, a business coach, and a mentor. She is a registered nurse, a tech fellow, and holds a degree in nursing. She is also a mentor at Saving Fellow in Nigeria, Fellowship in Nigeria, Obama Foundation leader, Mandela Washington Fellow, a first scholar, and one young world ambassador. Now, without further excitement, we will turn the time over to Margaret Jami.
Thank you, Fatou, for that beautiful introduction. And greetings, Fatmata, my new colleague, the nurse, runaway nurse, now entrepreneur. I am honored to be speaking with all of you today. And hello, standing for youth entrepreneurs. Are you excited about learning business models? Please put your program workbook on the table and let's get started with design thinking. Design thinking is a 5-step process to come up with important ideas that solve real problems for a particular group of people. Design thinking is taught in top and business schools around the world. Design thinking has brought to businesses many happy customers and has helped entrepreneurs from all around the world to solve real problems faced by real people with innovative solutions. In the Gambia, for example, we have a sister with a solution to a burning problem that is affecting a specific group of people. Here with us, Fatmata, we are going to use an idea you have developed to solve a real problem as an example throughout the design thinking process. Is it okay with you?
With great pleasure.
Thank you. Design thinking process, step 1. That's the first stage you start to building a successful business. Here is when you put yourself in the situation of the customer to understand the group of people with the real problem. To understand the problem and complete step 1, you need to conduct interviews that give you an idea about what people really care about. We need to empathize, understand their situation. Fatmata, please tell us, who are your customers? Who are the people that you wanted to understand their problem?
My target customers are women and girls of the productive age.
Why women and girls?
My aim was to understand the problem that women and girls were facing at that time and the options that were available to them.
How did you understand? How did you conduct the interview to understand their situation?
I interviewed some girls in Greater Bandu area and some in rural Gambia at my mother's village. I did one-on-one interviews, focus group discussions, observations, text research.
Why girls in your community?
My aim was to understand the problem that girls are facing in my community and to know the solutions that are available to them at that particular
Good. Thank you, Samantha. In your conversation during the interview, they might share with you different ways they are trying to solve the problems. This is why Fatmata wanted to understand what solutions are available to them at that particular time. Later in the interview, you will want to dig deeper and, and look into personal stories or situations where things became very difficult for them. Ideally, repeat this process with as many people as possible with the same process. Okay, now that we have collected all the data from the people with the problem, we now move to step 2 of the design thinking process called defining the problem. Looking at the interviews that you have already conducted with the people with the problem, you can now understand the actual needs that this group of people are trying to fulfill with certain activities at that particular point in time. One way to do this is to underline the verbs or activities that they mention when talking about their problems. Like Fanatabi,
staying out of school during their periods, using lamps or unclaimed piece of cloth as that, unable to afford a disposable sanitary pad.
You might realize that there is not much about going to school. There is more about staying indoors during this time. This is the analysis of the problem now. Fanmata, we have to develop a problem statement. Can you please tell us the problem statement that you have formulated based on the analysis of the interview?
1 in every 10 girls in the Gambia is 2 to 4 days out of school in a row during their period, that is every month. This leads to school absenteeism. Eventually, girls will drop out of school. When this happens, girls lack the opportunity to become doctors, lawyers, accountants, scientists, or even presidents. Majority of these girls become victims of gender-based violence, teenage pregnancies, early marriages, or even rape. And globally, it has been proven that majority of these girls who are affected by period poverty becomes victims or are affected by mental health issues.
The problem you're trying to solve is a very emotional one. And of course, it is a problem faced by girls all over the world. Now that Fatmata have developed a problem statement, we are going to step 3 of the design thinking process, which is called ideation. Here, it is very important that we focus on the problem statement that you have formulated and come up with different ideas that can solve the problem. At this particular point, really, you do not want to get a perfect idea, but rather come up with as many as possible solutions. Whatever it is, sketch your ideas and your solutions down and show them to the people that you were trying to help, so you get their feedback. Now, Fatmata, can you please tell us the different ideas you had and the one that you have actually chosen out of the many ideas?
The best idea I came up with was a reusable sanitary pad. Initially, I wanted to get disposable sanitary pads and provide it to girls at an affordable rate, but because disposable sanitary pads contain chemicals and they have plastics that cause damage to our environment, so I had to do it reusable sanitary pads.
Interesting. Did you realize that Fatmata has also paid attention to the environment? Whenever you are finding solutions or building solutions for existing problems for a particular group of people, please pay special attention to the environment. Do not build solutions that can harm the environment in the coming years, and then the future generation will be harmed based on this toxic pushed back to the environment. Now that takes us to step 4 of the design thinking process, For me, this is the most exciting part because here is where you have to put your ideas into reality and it is prototype. Step 4, prototype. Now, take a little moment to reflect on what you have actually learned from your conversation with these customers during the interviews. Ask yourself, how does my idea fit into the context of the actual lives of these people? Your solution could be a combination of new ideas and what is really being used as solution to their problems. Then try to connect these dots. Sketch up your final solution and go build a real prototype that is just as good enough to go to these customers. But I'm sure you have done step 4 of the design thinking process. Prototype. Can you please show us your prototype?
This is my prototype, a reusable sanitary pad. I use cotton materials that were readily available to me in my community to build this prototype.
Did you import any raw materials from outside of the Gambia?
I did not import any material. I did not buy any material. I did not pay for any service. I used cotton fabrics that were with me at home. I also used my mom's sewing machine to build up that prototype.
Interesting. I hope you were learning. Well, Pakuta did not go all out to go and search for new external materials. She has found materials that were readily available to her to be able to build her prototype. So you do not really have to have so much money to be able to put your idea into a reality. Wow! Now we go to the final stage of the design thinking process, test. Did you test this product?
Of course I did. I shared the parts with girls in Greater Barton area in rural Gambia where I did the interviews for them to test the product and also give me feedback. I also sent the sample of the prototype to Gambia Standard Bureau for them to evaluate for standardization and quality.
Interesting. So at the final stage, when you have your prototype ready, test it. Test it with real people. These are the real people that are going to use your product. Now, what Fakata did, another thing was to make sure that the product that she has actually built or created meets technical requirements of the country. And she took the product to the Gambia Standards Bureau so that they will look at the product, the features of the product, and compare it with the technical requirements of the Gambia. Now, thank you very much. That takes us to the end of the design thinking process.
Yeah, my viewer, I have a question. Can someone steal a business idea? But I have a great business idea. Normally, I often hear people say I have a great business idea, but to avoid the risks of my idea being stolen, I do not want to talk about it with my coach or in front of other people. So can a business idea be stolen?
You know, factually, this is the greatest misconception by startup of our time. Generally, people hesitate to reveal their ideas even to those people that could really help them to bring this idea into reality. There's this troublesome fear that someone can steal my idea from me. Like I hear this as well many times. Come on, starting to youth entrepreneurs. Just an idea is never that great. I bet that during a lifetime, the average human has at least 20 breathtaking ideas that could change Africa's economy. But because they didn't take any action, the idea follows them to their grave. So it's not really about ideas, brilliance, great timing. It's about execution. So if you have a great idea, talk to your coach and they're going to support you. They'll give you the platform to learn and build it.
Moreover, what if you invest all your money and build a product that nobody wants to buy?
This is the reason why business methodologies and strategies exist. So this is going to take us to another business model called the lean startup. The lean startup was written by multi-successful entrepreneur Eric Ries. Lean startup is a methodology for developing businesses and products that aims to shorten the product development cycle. Hence, rapidly discover if a particular proposed solution is viable or not. Because planning and forecasting are only useful when operations of a business is stable and also in a very static environment. But Fatmata, startups do not have neither of these. And this is why too much planning makes the process rigid and very risky. So just do it if you have the idea. Tends to turn everything into chaos because you have nothing, organized or any rules around you. Going through the circles of the lean startup, which is you have an idea, build it. Measure it. And learn. This is the solution. So if you have an idea, before spending all the savings that you have actually have in your hands and invest in this product that people really do not like. Use the lean startup cycles to do that. However, do not spend long time in either of the stages. So build faster, you have an idea, build faster, code faster, which is measuring, and data that you collected, learn faster. Okay, so we are going to look at the 5 advices regarding the creation of a successful business or a product. Number 1, the feedback loop. As you have already seen, here your goal is to figure out the right thing to build that customers want and will pay for as quickly as possible. So minimize the total time that you are spending through the loop. We must be able to quickly kill that which doesn't make sense and double our efforts on that which does. We must first figure out what we want to learn. We can do this by forming hypotheses. That is the data part of the circle. Like you will in your program notebook, exercises 4 and 5, pages 58 and 59. Here is a few examples of hypotheses. By the way, hypotheses are assumptions for your understanding. People are willing to pay monthly for being able to watch a number of channels under DSTV. You all know DSTV. In observation, these hypotheses seem small, but before companies proved them right, they were just assumptions. For you watching this webinar, to be able to do this, kindly go to page 203 of your program workbook and complete the observation tab. After formulating these hypotheses that your startup wants to solve, it's time to validate or reject them.
But Madhura, how can you do this with evidence?
Oh yes, the answer is the second advice of building a successful business by Eric. Experiment. Learning as fast as possible about customers' needs and willingness to pay for your product is experimenting. Example, experiments are run together with real and potential clients. So, if you are doing an experiment, observe. don't ask questions when you are doing an experiment. Before anything, ask yourself, in fact, do I even have to build anything at all? Because sometimes your solution to the problem doesn't require you to build anything, but to provide services. So ask your questions before you proceed with your experiment. Because an experiment can be as simple as setting up a landing page. Start stating that you have a product that can do something. Let's say if you have a website, driving traffic, you can do this through Google AdWords and then seeing how many people would sign up for it. If you don't really have a website, you can use your status and the status that you use and put up for your friends, families, and all contacts to see, and physically showing it to your target customers, etc. At all times, we must be more rigorous and develop a so-called MVP. So MVP stands for Minimum Viable Product. In lean startup, everything that you do that does not lead to validated learning or proof or reject your hypothesis is waste. And waste is very expensive. You must do everything possible really to eradicate waste. This is the reason why it's called a minimum viable product. Customers usually don't even know that they wanted something. But if you show them a product and they love it, hey, congratulations! You have just gained some validated learning. Put your validated learning in your workbook. Exercise 6, page 61. This leads us to the third advice. Different types of MVPs. Remember, MVP stands for Minimum Viable Product. There are many different types of MVPs that can be constructed to learn what solves the problem of a particular group of people that you are targeting. And they are also willing to pay for the price. Eric please mention 3 different examples. One, the video MVP. A famous example here is Dropbox company. They produced a video showing an extremely easy way, to use a file sharing tool and publish it online in communities with tech smart people. The sign-up list for this product went through 5,000 to 75,000 just overnight. So you can see how powerful a video MVP can be. The best thing about this story is that the video was free. At that time, there was nothing like a real Dropbox. So the CEO of Dropbox put all these solutions, the ideas he has in his head, into a visual online so that people can and check whether people will like it or not before he can spend his time and money and resources to build Dropbox. But you can see the sign-up rate from 5,000 to 75,000 just overnight. Number 2 of the type of MVPs is the caretaker MVP. Another way of testing your initial hypothesis empirically to gain validated learning about customers is to give them the concierge treatment. This means focusing on single or only a few customers. So you're targeting a niche, a small group of customers, and develop the product according to their preferences. So that's what you have done with your reusable sanitary pad. You're targeting a niche, only girls of reproductive health. And it's so specific. These are only few customers that you're targeting. And you build the sanitary pad only to fit them. Now we move to the third type of MVP. Advert, you can search it online. Those watching and do not know, Advert is AARDVAK, also known as the knowledge market. It is a social search engine that people are connected and their friends are connected, their families, friends are connected. And this platform is used to ask questions and answer questions objective inquiries, famously used this project approach with great success. Basically, it's all about pretending that you have developed a fancy technology while really behind the curtain, real human beings are operating the system. So, so in the case of Agra, they had employees who were coming up with the answers to inquiries from customers in the beginning, before they knew that the product was something that people really needed. So they validated their hypothesis. Did you see? When they realized that people really needed it, they validated their hypothesis, their assumptions, their experiments. The other now advice number 4. The 3 engines of growth. Now, once we have confirmed that the product creates value for a group of people with a specific need, it's time to shift our focus to what? Growth. We need to grow, right? Scaling up. And here Eric argues that there are 3 different types of engines of growth that a company should concentrate on. The company must pick only one primarily. So you cannot be jumping from the 3 different strategies of growth or engines of growth. You are going to get confused and confuse everyone that is walking around you. So just concentrate on one at a time and try to improve the metrics associated with the engine through repetition in the build, measure, learn, feedback loop. So remember that the lean startup model is a cycle. You finish and you come back to where you started. How do you do this? The engine of growth. A. The sticky engine. That is A. These type of businesses are designed to attract customers for a long time and never let go. So they grab the customer and they don't want to let the customer go. The sticky engine of growth is used by almost all online gaming companies. If you are an online gaming person, you know what I am talking about. Once you start gaming, your mom have to come and like sort of beat you up to stop and go and eat or do your homework. They are like very addictive. The sticky engine growth. Then B, the viral engine. These are businesses that focus on spreading like pandemics, like the coronavirus is spreading. This is their focus. They want to spread as quickly as possible and as widely as possible. For every new customer that joins the network, the idea is that person should invite 1 or more people. If every customer joins and can attract, on average, 1-to-1 new customers, the product will spread like a virus. So the viral engine growth is used by all social media networks. Did you see? If I have a Facebook account, I ask my friend to join or to add me as a friend. LinkedIn, Twitter, we want to get connected. We want to expand our network. And by multiple levels of marketing businesses, they also use this strategy. B or C, rather, the paid engine. Here, the 2 most useful metrics to a company of this kind are CPA. CPA stands for cost per acquisition, and LTV, which stands for lifetime value. It's simply the difference between how profitable a customer is to your business and overall its entire lifetime, minus the cost of acquiring a new customer that will determine the growth rate of the success of your business. Let's take an example. The e-commerce business. This one great example. Those who sell online. If you can sell and buy online, you are using this engine growth strategy. The 3 engines of growth discussed here are a way to focus the energy of startups in the right place. So, this takes us to advice number 5. Pivot or persever. What is this? Successful entrepreneurs do not give up after facing a little bit of bottleneck or failure. At the same time, they do not click stubbornly to one idea, just one idea, even until it crashes either. You must possess both perseverance to execute your solution and flexibility to adapt to the real changes of the business environment. Here are some examples of common pivot to make. Customer segment pivot. The initial group of customers that you intend to focus on really might not be interested in your solution, as you assumed. So maybe another group really is interested. Please let go of the first group that you thought was interested and focus on the new group that are interested in your solution. Value capture pivot. Deciding to give away the product for free. Farmata, you did this when you were testing your product, right? You gave it out for free. You were doing a value capture pivot. And then check through the advertising instead. So Girls Pride, that's Farmata's organization, by the way, did this for her prototype of the sanitized bag. One thing that is really important to notice here is that a pivot is not a failure. So it is helping you discover that something doesn't work and might not be useful at discovery that something does. Now, time for some. So the goal of the Lean Startup methodology is for startups to figure out quickly the right thing to build that customers want and they are willing to pay as quickly as possible. So whatever you are doing here, building, by coding, you have an idea, you do code, measure, and learn, do it really fast. To confirm or reject your hypothesis, experiment it. Experiments must be run to gain validated learning about potential customers. An MVP usually forms the basis of such experiments. 3 popular types of MVPs are video, the wizard zeros. Every startup should focus on an engine of growth, either the sticky, the viral, or the paid one. Successful entrepreneurship is about perseverance to execute and flexibility at the same time. Pivoting an idea does not equal failure, please. In fact, almost every successful startup has done a measure of changes to its strategy at some point. Have a successful MVP creation, guys. So to do like Farmata have done, we have MVP, we have prototype. For you, step 1, please open your program workbook, page 60 and 61, interview questions and verified hypothesis. And do them. Here, when you empathize with the customer, the group, target group, having a common problem that you're trying to solve, step 2, in the same workbook, program workbook, go to page 212, client interview card template. And on page 66, you have to define the problem. Define the problem from your interview. Use what you have learned so far in this webinar to build your problem statement. Step 3. By this week, you will be talking about your ideas, solutions. Please discuss them with your coach. Nobody can steal your idea. Execute. They are there to guide you and create a learning platform for you.
Okay, Madhu, I have a question. Can I defend my idea if I receive a feedback from a customer who does not like my product?
Hmm. Please, Fatu, don't defend your ideas in case the people don't like your idea, because the point is to learn what really works and what did not work. So, with your idea or your solution, so any feedback that you receive from your target group is super duper very important. Instead, take the feedback and go and learn. You remember the build, measure, and learn feedback loop. Repeat the process until you have a prototype that your customer really loves as a solution to their problem.
Thank you, Madhura. We will now go ahead and take some time for questions.
Okay.
Whatever. Now that I have a product or service prototype, what do I do next?
Interesting. The business model canvas. Remember in this whole program, we are using 3 business methodologies. We talked about one, which is the design thinking process. 2, the lean startup methodology. And now your question leads us to the business model canvas. So one of the interesting things about a startup is how your company is going to be organized. Because to be successful, you need to be organized. And to be organized, you need to put a system in place. And what we now know as the most efficient system, when to think about all the pieces of the organization of your business is by building a business model canvas.
It looks like we have only few questions.
Okay.
Madhura,
Yes, please.
what is business model canvas and what are all the pieces about?
A business model canvas, sometimes abbreviated as BMC, is a 20-minute, one-pager visual business plan with 9 building blocks. So it has 9 building blocks. It answers the question how a company creates value and extracts part of that value while delivering its products and services to its customers. Let's take a look at these 9 building blocks. To describe any company, from the world's largest to a 2-person startup. Before we start, starting for you startups, please bring out one of your business model canvas that looks like this. Fatmata, can you please show us a business model canvas that the startups also have? A page here? Just like all of you watching are going to do, you will put your card on the table and you will start, as we go through the blocks, you will start to begin to think about putting together all the different pieces of your organization into this card. So you're beginning to make your first draft of your business plan, business model canvas. Now let's get started from the first piece called value proposition. When you also open your workbooks, page 82 to 85, the value proposition answers question, what are you building? It's not about your idea product. It's about solving a problem or a particular need for a specific group of people. So when answering the block value proposition, try as much as possible to answer what pains are you solving? What gains are you creating? Fatmata was trying to solve a pain of people not having access to sanitary pads because either they cannot afford it and they have to subsidize by finding ways of solving it. So she created the sanitary pad, which means that she has created a gain. As you continue to work on your value proposition block, This is where you normally would list all the features of your product. Fanata had talked about the cotton that she got at home, showing it and making it. So all the materials, everything that makes up your product, think about them. They are your features. What are the fees? What are its benefits? The problem it's trying to solve or fulfill a need. For example, I want to be entertained or I want to communicate with my friends. Block 2. Remember, we have 9 blocks on your business model canvas. Block 2 is who are your customers? Customer segment. Did you see that block on your canvas? Customer segment. Here you want to know who are your customers, who are the target people that have a problem, that you have a solution. Who are they and why would they buy your product? As you will hear a number of times, your customers do not exist but to buy, but you exist for them. And what you are going to do by getting out of the building, getting out of your house, is to figure out all their geography. Social characteristics. What do they do? Socially. Their demographics. Such that where they live. Such that you actually could draw and put up a picture on your wall. This card, you will put it on your wall of who the Ash tribe is. You do this on your own. You put your workbook program on page 88. You will see there is an Ash tribe. This is where you put it. And then who the persona of your solution is. The persona is you're putting the person with the problem. You remember? Fatmata had girls. A girl who cannot afford disposable sanitary pads. This is her persona, and she has built a reusable sanitary pad. This is her persona. So when you open your book as well, you go to your program workbook page 72, you will be able to do your persona. The persona of your customer. And it turns out that in most startups, you might have more than one type of customers. That is possible. Therefore, it means that you will have more than one type of customer, a type, and also persona. But you need to understand them in detail. And there is no possible way you could have anything but a hypothesis. So if you walk backward again to your hypothesis, you have started doing this at the end of week 2 and start with your homework. Workbook page 66. These are who your this is where you do your hypothesis. The hypothesis is actually you want to understand. You are assuming that you understand the type of customers that you have. The next block is block number 3, which is channels. Channels are how does your product or service get to your target customer. Now that you have built your product, you have the sanitary pad, you have your prototype. How does it reach your target customers? Which distribution channels are you going to use? What's really interesting here is in olden days, the only channels are physical customers. You have to go and meet them physically or they come to your place physically. In the mid-90s, technology evolved and we now have virtual channels, the internet. But now we have the mobile cloud. So your distribution channel, the first question you want to ask is how will I be selling and how do I distribute my products? It is through physical channels or is it through web mobile, internet and using your mobile? Or given today almost every physical channel also have a website presence. Are you going to use your website? What is the relationship between how your products get from your company to the customers This leads us to the next block. Block number 4, customer relations. Did you see this in your business model canvas template? Customer relationship. Block number 4 has really interesting interactions with all the other 3 pieces. It basically says, how do I get customers? How do I get them? So you should always know that getting customers is one thing, but the harder job is actually getting the customers. And this is what you try to strategize in block number 4, customer relations. How do I also grow them? You want to grow in the next 5 years. Where do you want your business to be? You want to scale. And just like thinking about distribution channels, these are very different from internet than they are for physical channels. But visually, they kind of look alike. So how do I acquire them? How do I make them do something? And then, what can I do once I have customers to make them spend more money? That is for them to buy more of your product or use your product even more. Because the more they use it, the more others will also see and like it. Now, figure this out. When you are out of the building again, to go and talk to your customers, to go and interview your customers, to build this on your interviews, please go to page 97, 98, and 105 of your work. Number 5, block number 5. Key resources. What do I really need to make my business model work? What assets are important at this moment? What finances do I need? What capital? Line of credit. Do you need physical plant like manufacturing line? People that are in your industry of making things, do you need this? Do you need specialized machines? Do you need vans for delivery? Do you need cars? Is there anything else you need? Is it intellectual property? Do you need patents? Is it just that you need to get great people on board? Great software programs? Or great hardware designers? Or manufacturing people? And then finally, gain human capital. But who are they? What kind of human capital? This takes us to the next piece. Block 6. Who are your key partners? Your suppliers. Partnerships are very important. What exactly are we acquiring from partners? You need to ask these questions. And also, what activities are they going to perform? The types of partnership you need in year 1 will certainly be different from the type of partnerships you need in year 2 and year 3, in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time. And the types of partnerships could be strategic alliance, joint venture, like you're joining another organizations coming to join your company. Just regular suppliers are also part of your partners, can be part of your partners, and buyers. And so you need to be thinking to who they are and actually getting out of the building and testing them. So within a business, you cannot do this just by sitting in your house or in your office. Next, block 7, key activities. What are the most important things you need to do for the business to make the model work? If you were in the production business, you were making something. That is, you're making something like furniture. Or are you in the problem solving business, the service sector, maybe financial institution, maybe internet service provider, like you're doing consulting or you're an engineer? What are the key activities that you need to do to become an expert in the solution that you are offering? Block 8. we are coming to the most exciting block down. Block 8. All this adds up on the cost. You look at the cost structure. What are the costs? What are the expenses to operate your business model? The interesting thing about cost is it's not just the obvious ones, like people or building, no, or just materials. And what you are really going to be asking, or what are the entire cost, is to operate your business model. So you want to think about the most important costs you need to worry about. What are the most expensive resources you are going to need to pay for? So as a startup, eliminate all those unnecessary costs and concentrate on the important costs, those that are necessary. You are going to need to pay up for key activities that are really very expensive. You want to ask the typical accounting things. What are my fixed costs? Like things I need to buy one time and use it for many years. What are my variable costs? Costs that change structure as production varies. Are there economies of scale? And you want to start getting a good handle on what it is that will end up costing you money to run your business. Block 9 and the final block. This block is the one that pays off entrepreneurs. Revenue streams. Revenue streams. How do you actually make money from your products or your services being sold to the customer segment? Fun matter. Do you know that the revenue stream basically asks the questions, what value is the customer paying for? And then actually, how to capture that value? This is the block that sustains the business. If you don't make sales, you are going to be out of business.
This is amazing, Margaret. I am learning a lot. I don't know if you are watching this webinar, if you are learning and taking notes, but this is interesting.
Do you have a question, Samantha?
Madiba, as you were explaining about the business model canvas, I was making my first draft. Would you like to see?
Yes, please.
So this is God's prime business model canvas that I developed when you were explaining. So this is the business logo here, Gas Pride. You have the company name, Gas Pride, and the product is reusable sanitary pad. We have today's date because I developed this business model canvas today. And this is my primary canvas. So now we talk about the value proposition. Gas Pride provides reusable sanitary pad and health education for adolescents with reproductive health issues. Our pads are made of cotton materials. They are breathable, chemical-free, leak-proof, they are eco-friendly, cost-effective, reusable, and also affordable. Our customer segment, we are targeting women and girls of reproductive age because these are the people who menstruate and use our products. We also target retail businesses and wholesalers because they also buy from us and sell to the same customers that we are targeting. Now, how do we maintain our customer relations? We create social media platforms for them, for example, WhatsApp group or Facebook group, where they can send inquiries, give us feedbacks, or even place their orders. We also explain to them how to use the sanitary pads and how to care for the pads when they buy it. We can send them text messages or send them voice messages. We also send seasonal greeting cards to our customers, for example, when it is Christmas or Easter or New Year's. Another way we maintain customer relationship is we send them messages when it is their birthdays or when they have naming ceremonies or wedding ceremonies. We go to their events when we have time. Another way we maintain our customers and keep them is to provide free delivery services for customers who buy certain amount of products. So now we go to our key resources. Our key resources that we need for us to produce sanitary pads, we have the sewing machines that we need. That's either the manual or the electric sewing machine. We have the tailors. These are the people that we need to operate the sewing machine. We have the raw materials. They are the cotton and the knit-proof materials that we use together for the sanitary pad production. We have iron, scissors, packaging bags, just to name a few. How do we get to our customers? We use social media channels like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even LinkedIn. We sell our product from our shop. We sell online through Sellops app and other apps that are available for us. We use radios and TV advertisements to sell out our products. We conduct school screenings and community sensitization to introduce our product to the people because it is a new product, so we need to sensitize and let them know about the product so that they can buy the products. We also sell our products to friends who have stores online or they have their physical stores in town. We make use of trade fairs, pitching competitions, so that people who come from other countries will also know about our products so we can sell it to them so they can also sell it in their countries. We go to fashion shows to showcase our products. We use signboards, flyers, branded books, pens, mugs, or even calendars. These are all the ways and the channels that we use to sell our products and services. So we go to our key partners. Our key partners. We have fabric stores that sell the raw materials that we need for the pad production. We have the Ministry of Health because the product we provide is related to health. We have the Ministry of Education. Since we are trying to keep girls in school by the provision of sanitary pad, so Ministry of Education, it's a key in whatever we do. We have the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare. We have Ministry of Environment because we are providing something that does not, we don't want the product to provide or to cause damage to the environment. So we can partner with the Ministry of Environment to work on this. We also work with non-governmental organizations or community-based organizations because most of the time they're the ones who buy our products in bulk and give it out to us in rural communities. Pharmacies and also reproductive health clinics are also our key partners. When we come to the key activities, these are the things that we do to develop the product. We have drawing the patterns, cutting out the templates, sewing the parts together using the fabric that has been cut. We use communication to communicate with the key partners and also with the customers because for you to sell your product, you have to communicate with people. We travel to schools and communities to introduce these parts to them. We do marketing and also selling. So these are examples of the key activities that we do for us to sell our products. So now we go to our revenue or the cost of production. This is the part that I am excited about. So the cost of production, for example, for us to produce our minimum viable product, that is the sanitary pad, we spend $40,000 on production costs, $29,700 on operational costs, and the total amount that we need to produce a minimum viable product is $69,700. Now, our revenue stream. How do we make money? We sell our products and services to make money. So a sales from 100 reusable sanitary pads will give us $7,000. We also get grants from philanthropists or donor agencies because as a social enterprise, we provide free products and services through our social impact project. So we get grants as another source of revenue for us. We also provide delivery services, so we get money from delivery fees. So a total of $58,000 will be made from a sale. Sorry. We make money from selling our products and services to our customers. For example, we make $7,000 from a sales of 100 reusable sanitary pads. We also provide delivery services, for example, $1,000 to deliver 100 reusable sanitary pads to different locations. Because we are a social enterprise, we get grants from donor agencies and philanthropists. So we make money and implement social impact projects where we provide free sanitary pads and clinics to women and girls in rural communities. So in general, our revenue stream that we will get from 100 reusable sanitary pads will be $58,000. So this is all about Girls Pride business model canvas. So Madiba,
Thank you, Fatmata. Madhya, do you have any comments on Fatmata's content?
Oh, fantastic, Fanata. Well done. That was a very good job you've done on your business model canvas. Definitely. If you use this model, you are going to get your business well organized. Now, you that are watching this webinar, please start drafting your first business model canvas, or if you were drafting it as the session was going on, kindly complete it, review, and make the right adjustments and all of that. Then show it to your coach to review and provide you feedback during your sessions next week.
Thank you so much, Madhya. Fatmata, do you have any further question?
yes, I do. Madiba, this is very helpful. What if from the market side, the industry of my proposed product or service is saturated by the traditional use of cloth or disposable bags? How do I sell my products and make profit?
Very good, Fanata. Make competition relevant. Whether you like it or not, you are going to be operating in a business environment. There have been options that are used by these customers that have the problem and you want to sell. They have been options. They were using something before your product came. Now you're going to enter into their market. You are going to compete. So make competition very relevant. It is very important. I read a book years ago when I used to work in the bank, and I still go back to it to make reference. The book is entitled The Blue Ocean Strategy. It was written by W. Chan Kim and Ren. The Blue Ocean Strategy. That is the title. So, to make competition relevant, use the Blue Ocean Strategy. The Blue Ocean Strategy is a product differentiation and low-cost market creation and penetration strategy.
Madiba, to be successful in business, do I need to beat the competitors?
Oh no, really? You do not really have to do that. Because according to Professors W. Chan Kim and Neil Bronze, striving to beat the competition is in an established market. Example, if your company, Girls Pride, as a startup, wants to build the same disposable sanitary pads available in the Gambia, with the hopes of outperforming the competition that have been existing here with disposable sanitary pads, you are adopting what the authors call the red ozone strategy. The red ozone strategy is a very dangerous strategy for startups. Instead, I will advise that you focus on sailing past the red ozone in search for blue waters. This, what is that? You are going to find untapped market potential like Girls Pride by using local raw materials to manufacture reusable sanitary pads that can serve a poor girl in the rural Gambia or the rural communities around the world if you are scaling up to export for more than 1 year. Like these girls, they can use the pads for more than 1 year. So if they cannot really have money to buy sanitary pads reusable and they are able to buy sanitary pad, sorry, disposable, and they're able to buy one sanitary pad that is reusable at any given time. What that means is that they are able to buy and use that at any given time. So anyone else they buy, they are like having more and more as backup. So really, you do not need to go and look for those girls that can afford a disposable sanitary pad and compete with the competition. No, like you are doing, go and look for the girls that really cannot afford disposable pads, sell the sanitary pad to them, and then it stays there. Like they can use it all the time. So you're creating a new market. You're creating a safe haven by getting new customers, a new product into a new market. So you sell these products at affordable prices and you will increase the chances of your business survival for profitability. So Girls Pride creates a safe haven for her product and serves through the blue ocean. Our market creation strategy the reusable sanitary pads penetrates the sanitary pad market and captures a known market where demand created rather than fought for. So you're not actually fighting for demand for your product, but you are creating a new market with new customers. So you invented this, and then you will have market profitability. We can make a typical trade-off between value and cost. So while you're pursuing both differentiation and low cost in what Kim and Bourne called value innovation, open your workbook page 209, the participants that are watching, competition analysis. You need to analyze your competitor to be able to do all of this. And complete this to understand really who your competitors are. The simultaneous pursuit of value and cost is the logic of the blue ocean strategy. So companies that have actually created the blue ocean usually reap the benefits in 10 years or 15 years time because it is very hard for their rivals to copy. So if you realize, like those watching, the banking industry is already saturated. Was already saturated before Reliance Financial Services came. And they employed the blue ocean strategy. Up to today, they are so competitive that even all the new microfinance institutions that are upcoming in the Gambia cannot defeat Reliance because they created a safe haven for themselves. To realize the blue ocean potential, companies must plot a strategy path that is different from the traditional industry boundaries to create new market spaces.
It looks like we have covered all of our topic, but Mandiba, is there anything that you want to cover before we wrap up?
Congratulations to us! We have covered all the topics. So, further reading for those that are watching, please go to week 3, pages 59 to 53 of the manual. To get your business as organized as Fatmata has just done, presented the business model canvas for Girls Pride, you will need to work on your business model canvas from pages 65 to 29 of your workbook and the one page given to you. Like I have said, your coach is here to accompany you through this exciting journey. By week 10 of this program, you will have already applied all your learning that you have done in this novel program, and this will permit you to complete the exercises in your workbook. What this means for you is that you will have a complete business model, narrative and financial. By week 10, you will have transferred some of the learning into pages 203 up to pages 243. As you complete the document, this can be used to seek for further funding in case you want to scale your business. So you can watch this webinar over and over again as you're working, as you're progressing, in your and building your business model, as you're doing your interviews to validate your hypothesis, as you're also making your problem statements. Watch this webinar over and over again. I think we are good to go, Patu.
Thank you, Madiba. Thank you, Famata. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here. Thanks again for joining us today, and we will see you next time.